Everyone, welcome to my kitchen. You are in the kitchen with KK, and we're going to have some fun today making different types of burgers. May happens to be National Burger Month, which kicks off Memorial Day, our barbecue season, right? And what smells better, brings you back to childhood than smelling meat barbecuing on the grill. So I'm going to show you those some difference. I want you to explore different types of meat and understand the benefits. Bison has become very popular because it has a higher omega-3 to omega-6 content. It's got lower saturated fats, which are easier. The liver still has to digest everything and break down fats. And meats are digested in the stomach via stomach acid. So we're going to show how you can improve that as well. But bison leaner and different profile based on what the animals are eating. So we're going to interject today elk and venison. So how exciting is that? So in my cookbook, I am a integrative and functional health coach who has loved to cook since I was young. So my passion is to get people back into the kitchen and learn just how much power you have over your health. When you get back, learn a few recipes because excellence is what you repeatedly do. It's a habit, not a trade. So you can become good at cooking a few great recipes that stimulate your health. And when you understand the power of food, you're going to be more mindful in your selections. I love listening to Dr. William Li. Maybe some of you guys do as well. He wrote the book, Eat to Beat Disease. So I have many physicians that have inspired me by lecturing physicians in school, but I just love that he is really committed to the science of food as I am. So in my cookbook, Bioenergetic Cooking, this brings the power of food via energy to different areas of the body and how that food can influence. Now, I do have bison meatballs in here, and they are a favorite to so many of my clients and my friends. And just fantastic, giving you the ability to get, and you can mix bison with some grass-fed beef, but as opposed to grain-fed or even grain-finished, you're getting a higher omega-6 inflammatory composition. Now, those omega-3s, those are brain nurturing. There are certain things that cross that blood-brain barrier, and omega-3s are one of them. So here, yes, and we're going to have also the B vitamins. We're going to have iron, good everything. But meat is only as good as it is broken down. So does your body actually break it down and digest it? I start with a big bowl. I make more burgers or things that I need. I'm used to meal prepping for a lot of people, but even with the family, I'm going to show you how to make some burgers to put into the freezer. I'm going to be making meatballs today, so I'm going to show you how I do that really easily. The oven's on 400. So venison is sold in Whole Foods, and it's also sold in Sprouts. This is where I got this. This is from New Zealand. And elk, you can buy elk online. I think there's a Sayer book or something, but I've done many elk roasts and things, but they have ground elk also there. So I just cut these open, and we're going to be soaking it in red wine. Now, why do you want to do that? Well, red wine is great for flavor, but what it does is it breaks down the fibers. It's going to help you to be able to digest it better in your body. Red meat eaten occasionally for people that are more plant-based is very helpful for the nutrients that it can deliver, but it's only as good as you can break it down. So it also helps with any gaminess. It's going to kind of break that down as well. So I use wine a lot for cooking, and so this is a red wine, and you want at least a quarter of a cup per. You can put a little more if you want. Per block in there, per 1 pound. So we're going to get that in there. And I'm going to get my I'm going to get my little gloves and be right back. I'll show you 1 second. These are helpful because then you don't get it all in your nails and everything. You can do it with your clean bare hands if you want to. So we're just going to marinate the wine into the beef. We're going to let it sit while we prep the other items that I'm going to add in that are going to add a lot of moistness, flavor. It's if you have a large family, it'll help the meat go a little bit further. So this is great. We're going to set this to the side. Here. Okay, so you're going to need an onion, a medium onion. I only have a large yellow onion here, so I'm just going to use half of it. I have out my food processor, which you see me use often. It makes your life easier. You can cut up an onion by yourself and not use the food processor, but it is going to help you. So I'll save this one. I use my onions often. I just put them in a baggie with a paper towel, and I'll be using it very soon. So it's not going to sit in there and get bad. So we're just going to take off the outside here. I am going to cut it up a little bit before throwing it into the food processor. So I'll just slice it into manageable chunks with a blade. See, but that only took me a few minutes. And then, so you don't have to worry about not being a whiz with a knife. You get better at it as you go. We'll get these in there. And then in no time, you're going to have your onions ready to go. So this also helps if anyone who's eating the burgers is not so keen on having big chunks of other things in the burger. So that's kind of a personal thing. But here we go. This is all fantastic and ready. So let's get this added to a little prep bowl here. These little deep prep bowls are fantastic, and I do highly recommend that you get some and have them available along with your board scrapers. And the next thing we're going to add is organic portobello mushrooms. You could use another type of mushroom. You could use white if you want. I like the portobello in this. You could even use a shiitake. I do use the shiitake in my apple sage turkey burgers. Okay, so again, you can use a half of a basket. They're usually sold like this. Half, if you want more, you could use the whole thing, but a half is about one big full 1 cup. So let's get the top on. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'm just tilting it to get all the big pieces. So even people that don't care for mushrooms so much, they're not even going to notice it in here. It's going to give it more flavor and moistness. So now these are fine. There's no way you could chop this up with your knife. This blade does a great, easy job for you. That's all set. The spices that we're going to add, paprika, definitely some garlic powder, or you can also chop up some fresh garlic in here. Garlic powder is going to be fine, a half a teaspoon each. And some black pepper, some sea salt. We're going to put in some fresh parsley. You could even put in some fresh oregano if you like to. So you could get a little creative here. Eggs. So we add 1 egg per 1 pound. This definitely gives it a nice bit of moisture. So what we're going to do is just let that sit. I like to let it sit for 15 minutes or so at least, just to let it kind of work in. The other thing that you can add is a little bit of coconut aminos. This is a replacement for any soy and any Worcestershire sauce, just to make sure it's clean. And So that gives it a really nice savory flavor. So let's let that sit for a little bit. We'll be right back. We'll put these together. Then we're going to make the meatballs, and I'll show you how to prep some burgers and some different pans that you can option for grilling in the house. So it's all perfect timing when the meat is marinating. Perfect. You can be getting your vegetables ready. You can be making a salad to go with that. I'm just going to be chopping up a little bit of parsley here. I prefer to use the curly parsley rather than the Italian leaf parsley when I'm putting it into the meat. Beautiful. Parsley smells so amazing when it's fresh chopped. What you're smelling are the antioxidants, all those delicious nutrient properties. What did I want to tell you? Elk is a little more mild and a little sweeter than beef or bison. It's going to be similar to beef, but it doesn't have that sweet. When I roast a whole elk, slow roast for like 4 hours, incredible. That is a great option to look at. Venison is going to be a little more nutty, a little more wild, a little more, like they say, gamey, based on what the animal's eating, but you're benefiting from whatever the animal's eating. That's why grass-fed and wild game is going to have a better, leaner fat profile. So when we talk about fat and heart disease, what we always have to look to the liver. The liver has to be in good shape to take care of that, and you have to have enough stomach acid to break down that meat. All of my O blood type friends and people and clients that I know, they tend to deal better with meat, plus they crave meat more. So those are natural carnivores, and I know there's many people out there. The smell of meat is wonderful. I do better if I have it in a stew or the meatballs in my natural red sauce. So let's get everything in here. I'm adding in, these are just two smaller eggs. And then we're going to use the hand to blend everything together, getting a lot of love into this. Wonderful. And get some, that's a half a teaspoon there. Can do a little bit more since we have 2 pounds, 2 blocks. So this is going to make great burgers. I'm going to show you how to prep them and keep them in the freezer so you're ready to go. You're making dinner, but you're also prepping ahead for the future. My refrigerator and freezer always have options for me, so I never have to worry. I often don't want to go anywhere to eat because I have such great food at home. Okay, leave out the onion powder. So some sea salt here. Of course, you can always salt the burgers more when you are cooking them. Some fresh black pepper. Ooh, that smells good. And let's get in the fresh parsley. All right, you see all that there? Ready to go. Get my other glove on. Now we're just gonna blend the egg down and just mix this around. If you find it to be a little wet, you can add some flaxseed to it. Perfect addition. You will not taste it in the meat. It's going to give you more plant-based omega-3s, some fiber. Fantastic. But these, the onion and the mushroom are very finely broken down. So you will barely notice this, but you're going to get a much richer and more tasty and also moist burger. If you don't want to add flaxseed, you can add a little bit of coconut flour because it absorbs a lot of moisture. All right, that's looking fantastic. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I make meatballs. I use, depending on the size that you want, I don't want them too huge. Sometimes big ones are really stellar if you're having a dinner party, like too big, but you got to cook them slow. So what I do is I just put them on a parchment paper with this is a half sheet. If you're going to make all of this into meatballs, you're going to need more. But all you do is you press it into the measuring, and then you have a perfect ball here. So let's go this way. And this just helps me with when I'm meal prepping or making them, because then you're getting a uniformed amount and you don't have to feel like you've got to roll them in your hands. There's no breadcrumbs in these meatballs because we don't add gluten to them or cheapen them by adding breadcrumbs. What we're doing is we're adding more nutrients by adding in the onion and the mushrooms, actually. So these look beautiful. You see they're nicely shaped. We'll put those into the oven. And then I'm going to show you a few pan options for home grilling. I happen to love the all-clad pan, which I'm going to show you. It's one of their very affordable grill pans. You can also get a grill pan from Le Creuset. Even heating. Fantastic. All right, these are looking great. We've got 12 meatballs. I have homemade red sauce at all the time in my freezer. Make it, put it in jars, and these meatballs are fantastic in the red sauce. So let's get those added in. So I'm going to check them at 30 minutes. Now, here we go. I'm going to show you a couple pans. This is the all-clad grill pan. Grills here. So perfect. It's going to catch some of the fat as this is grilling. It's really excellent for pounded out chicken breast or for the burgers at home. I used to have a gas oven. I don't anymore. I'm showing you a basic kitchen and the amazing things that you can create in just, an apartment type kitchen if you don't have a gas oven and a stovetop. And then the other is, this is a Green Life. This is a Green Life electric fry pan, which is fantastic because it frees you up from getting grease all over your stove if you kind of anal about that. But this also fits with the even cooking more burgers. So when I'm meal prepping, I can cook 9 burgers at a time in this. So for a family, it's very helpful. And this is great for non-grilling season outside if you have your grill. So now for meal prepping these, perfect. Again, I use a measuring cup, at least a third of a cup, nicely packed, makes a good sized burger. We're going to use wax paper and foil. Hold on one second. We want to protect it in the wax paper. So you just get a piece like this. And now you're just going to measure these out. There's your burger. You didn't get your hands all messy. It's perfect. And then you're going to slide it over like this, put another one down. I like to freeze 2 at a time. That's plenty. If it's you and another person, or if it's just you, then you're just going to flip this over. And now you have a little pouch that you're going to put in foil. You want the heavy foil for the freezer. So take your little pouch, put it in the center here. Bring the ends together. Crunch this down. And then you probably want to label it just so you remember what's in here, that it's not a turkey burger or a veggie burger. And now you have a pouch you can put into the freezer so you are ready to go. Wonderful. So I'm going to make some more of those. We'll be back when the meatballs are out. We'll get them in the red sauce. You'll see how delicious these look. So thanks for joining me today. We're almost done. I actually cooked up a burger here, so you can see me put this together. So this is just another all-clad pan, but their coated pans are safe, and this makes a nice little single burger option for you. Fantastic. So what I like to put on top of my burger, everybody has their choice. I like a organic Dijon or a spicy yellow mustard. Primal Kitchen is really good for making condiments that are cleaner. And you really want to taste the burger since you put so much effort into making this unique and tasty. This is elk and venison. It's actually the first time that I've combined both of them because I normally combine bison with some venison. This is sauerkraut. I have a local lady here, and if you're listening and you're local to Sarasota, Fermentlicious, she makes the most amazing sauerkraut. So this is going to add some deliciousness. I love some red onion on top of my burgers. So we're just going to cut into this. And if your mouth is watering, you should smell the kitchen. It smells amazing. So here is one of our creations today, guys. Let me just take a little bite for you. Delicious. Mmm. But when you chew it, you're going to be able to taste everything blending in. It is just amazing. So what I have warming on the stove, this jar right here is where I keep my red sauce in the freezer. I thawed it out yesterday and it's ready. So the pot going, we're going to turn this down, simmer, and the meatballs are done. I'm going to show you how nicely these cook. How perfect is that? So you have no charring. Baked meat is very safe. So let's spoon these into the sauce. Perfect. Now I like to let the sauce and the meat cook together for at least 20 minutes on simmer. This is perfect. So we'll come back when we have the sauce out. I have my Italian perfect dish here. Now I like to serve the meatballs with a black bean pasta, which you can get from Explore brand. Very, very high in protein, low in carbs. Another low carb option would be spaghetti squash boats. Oh my God, gorgeous. If you have delicious meat and sauce and you put it into spaghetti squash, your guy's still going to eat it. It's delicious. And you're keeping the carbs down so your body can just digest that meat. And so many options here. So we're going to clean up and be right back. I'm going to enjoy some more of the burger. Thanks for joining us today. I know you wish you had a bite of that burger. Trust me, it's delicious. So what's better in red sauce than fresh basil, right? So just roll it into a little circle or a log and then cut through it. And then you'll have some beautiful ribbon cut basil here to toss in. We left that slow cooking, and now the meat and the sauce has blended together. And you have a perfect, gorgeous, unique elk and venison ball here. So flavorful. You don't even have to tell people that it's elk and venison, but you'll benefit from the omega-3s, the iron, the zinc, the B vitamins, everything that builds your blood. And even if you're not a typical meat eater, breaking it down, it's going to help you digest it. And occasionally having a little bit of red meat is going to be wonderful for you. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in today and have an excellent evening. as we explored elk and bison and venison alternatives and grass-fed options.